He was about to speak, but Sylvie marched right up to him, pointing a finger at him as she said, "We're going back to the Temple of Rage right now! We have to figure out the secret of this shield and light the last kiln before this fight is over. If we don't," was all she managed to get out before he interrupted her. "Wait, listen. I might not always be right when I say this, but I've got a feeling this is exactly where I need to be. If you have an idea, then go and try it. But otherwise, I need to stay right here," Jacob said, gentle but serious. Sylvie gritted her teeth before turning back to the fight, desperate to think of a way to disengage. "Why do you always have to be so stubborn?" she demanded, shaking her fist at him. "It's not exactly like there's any compromise between our positions here," he sheepishly replied, wary of getting struck again. "That's not the point," she shouted, making him purse his lips. "You're being pretty stubborn right now yourself, you know," he replied angrily, starting to get frustrated. They were just turning to face each other when Bernal raised a hand and formed a volatile green fireball in it, firing it at Sycamore so quickly that the frost giant only barely had time to dodge and get to snowier ground. Jacob and Sylvie both jumped with surprise at the size of the fiery green explosion that looked big enough to wipe out a small village, and Sycamore seemed quite on edge himself. He grimly said, "Now I understand. Thine hast inherited the will of King Surtur," before starting to perform another sequence of hand signs. Before he could complete them, Bredal formed and fired another violent fireball, forcing Sycamore to stop signing and dodge. He started again, but was interrupted a second time. "Damnable will of fire," he said, making Bredal chuckle to himself. "I was hoping that since we're both descendants of kings from a bygone era, that you might prove to be a challenge. I'm sorry to say that I'm not impressed." "Begone," he said, forming another fireball and launching it with nearly no effort at all. It seemed like Sycamore had met his match as he dodged, but Sylvie and Jacob were surprised to find him weaving signs once again, though these seemed markedly different from those he'd done previously.